Hey, Eric.
Hey, John. Welcome back.
It is good to be back. Yes. Merry post Christmas.
Yes, how was your Christmas holiday with the family?
Oh, it was good. It was good. It was a little. It's just been a very frantic last 6 weeks or something like that. 8 weeks. So
Mm,
landed at, let's say, I think I got home at 12:30 on the 23rd. So basically 12:30
Christmas Eve
p.m.
day.
I guess
Oh, okay.
technically 30 on Christmas Eve. Um, 12:30 midnight on
Yeah.
Christmas Eve, and Christmas. I was home for Christmas Eve, but that was the unpack and do all the last minute Christmas things that didn't quite get done a week and a half earlier,
Right. Yeah,
and we
yeah.
were supposed to be getting a Christmas ham in the mail, and when my
A
wife,
Christmas ham in the mail.
oh, Harry and David, um, ham,
Oh,
and the my wife, texted me a few days before, and was like, "Hey, the ham isn't here yet," and turns out there was a mix-up, and it's set to arrive tomorrow, uh, and so I.
like tomorrow from when we're recording or
Yeah,
tomorrow
like
for
the
Christmas
20
Day?
20 7th.
Oh,
Which,
okay.
by the way, it's hard to have dinner on the 25th if the ham arrives on the 27th. And so,
Hmm.
anyway,
I
once I
can
found
see a
out that
problem
it
there.
was it was delayed, she was like, if I had known an hour ago, I was literally at the store and it was a madhouse, but I could have gotten something. So,
Yeah.
anyway, that was retrieved on Christmas Eve, or not the ham, but we went for a turkey since we'll be having a ham in another, hopefully, 24 hours. Um, so it's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But Christmas was lovely. It's good to have the whole family in the house, and my parents are here, and we had a lovely Christmas. And
Nice.
yeah, just I it's raining. It's not pleasant to be outside. You
Hmm.
can't really go out and do that much. But my dad and I have gone out and puttered in the shop a little bit, and it's been
Okay.
nice. And I've got
Nice.
another week off here still, so I will hopefully have a little bit of a vacation part of my vacation.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
how about you?
we do a Christmas ham as well, but we always order our Christmas ham from the Honey Baked Ham store.
Okay. Yes.
So that's kind of a family tradition,
Uh-huh.
which involves not mail order, but ordering it online, then going and standing in line and picking it up.
Yes.
And so that's
I
what we
have
do.
seen that line. I have seen that line. I've driven past that line before.
You know how you avoid that line?
Um,
My wife is a genius. She prepays for it, goes in and does everything all prepaid, and then you go into a much shorter line, which is just the pickup line. You've already paid for things line.
yes.
So that's the way to do
Although
it.
I will also say that you can avoid that by having it show up at your house. However, there are also problems and flaws in that system. Um,
uh,
so yeah. Um,
yeah.
anyway, but
Well, we had a good.
yeah, I miss the ham. I anyway.
We don't eat a lot of ham, but that's the special Christmas ham that we get every year. So
Just minor. One of my funny recollections about those hams growing up or in college, like in the garage was always very cold. So
uh,
when I was growing up, the garages generally weren't heated, or at least, you
sure,
know, they
you could
they
set
they'd
your cold cuts out in the garage.
exactly, like literally just out on the chest freezer. All the
Yeah,
leftovers would be sitting out like on top of the chest freezer in the garage, because the garage was like 36 degrees. And
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
and so you know, if you had a little feeling a little peckish, you could just go out and like rip off a little couple pieces of ham and in the garage. Anyway, so anyway, that's very maybe that only happens in Alaska. I don't know. Anyway, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no. So yeah, we the kids are all home. We went and saw, my wife and I went and saw The Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
Okay.
Have you read the book? I'm sure you've heard of the
Oh, I'm
book.
sorry. I didn't realize that was a capitalized title.
Oh, yes, yes. Sorry.
I thought
Yes.
that was a descriptive thing of what you saw.
No, 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 no,
No, I have not
no.
read the book. I'm
This is
unaware
a
of the book.
book. It was a popular book, and it's, if you haven't heard of the Best Christmas Pageant Ever book, uh, it's not that long a book. It was a kid's book that we used to always read in over Christmas time. It was about this family who were basically horrible, who discover the Christmas story, and then they go from being, the mean kids who smoke cigars to, getting into the Christmas spirit. So it's a very cute book.
Okay.
And apparently someone made a movie out of it. And it was a fantastic little movie.
Oh,
Um, and then my we split the family. Two went to see Moana 2,
okay.
and my me and my girls, we went and saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, seeing as I haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or 2, but I will say I did see something about Moana, and so on my flight home, I watched about 70% of Moana 1, thinking that I would get to go and see Moana 2, and I should like refresh myself. But but unfortunately I started it evidently late, and the flight ended before the movie did.
Ah,
So,
well, I asked my wife, because I said, "Well, how was Moana 2?" She said, "Well, it was okay." And I said, "Well, on the spectrum of Cinderella 2 to Toy Story 2, where did Moana fit?" Because those are the two. You didn't have little girls growing up, but I watched lots of Cinderella.
okay.
And Cinderella 2 was not good. And she said, "Well, it's way closer to Toy Story 2, but, not as good as Moana 1. Moana 1 was
But
better."
Moana 1 was amazing. The
Yeah.
music in it was
Yeah.
fantastic.
She said the music's not as good. There's lots of music. It's not as good. But it's still kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
So I may end up having to see that one too.
I think you mean getting to see that one too. But okay, sure.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what I meant. Thank you for clarifying. And I watched a couple other movies, and I am 78% now of the way
Ooh,
through Stormlight Archive
okay.
5, Wind in Truth. And it's getting to the point where you can't put it down because you need to read the
Oh,
next
okay.
chapter.
Yeah.
Up until this point, I always felt like, oh, okay, and I've been doing that. I'll read an hour here, an hour there, and I've just been kind of doing it over off and on. It's a 64-hour
Uh-huh.
book,
Uh-huh.
right? Audible. I've been doing listen to the Audible while I read
Yes.
along kind of thing.
Yes.
And now it's getting to the point where, like, I was actually in the middle of a chapter when you called. And I'm
And
like,
you're like, ooh,
oh,
should I answer?
dang it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, I have begun, but I don't know
okay.
what my percentage is, but it's maybe barely double digits.
All right.
But
All
it's,
right.
I definitely have begun. But
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know why I've been like, normally I've like dove into them and like just mowed them down, chowed them down. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, it's going to be like so long. I should just like relish this. But
Mm,
I'm sure I will get to the point where I'm like, all right, please, everybody, leave me alone. Turn off the world. I need to
well,
read.
I so I mean, and you're familiar with a bunch of his other books as
I
well.
have. Yeah.
I actually, in the middle of it, there was a chapter where I'm like, oh crap! I went and reread Warbreaker
Oh,
because I was like, I know this. What? Oh, now I get. And
Okay.
I didn't. Let's say I speed read Warbreaker. I kind of
Right.
skipped
You had to go
through all the
remind
parts because
yourself.
remind myself of Warbreaker and all the bits and pieces because now it becomes integral here. And then there's another part that's Mistborn, and it's the
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Avengers.
Stop.
So
Stop. Stop.
I will stop
Stop.
talking.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But
Okay.
anyways,
That's very
so it's
exciting.
getting really good. It's getting really good. Let's see. And uh, I discovered dry rot in my back door. And so tomorrow at noon, someone is coming to see how bad it is and
Oh,
see what they need to rip out. So that's the negative
no point. No.
part. You know, when you push on the thing and you're, why is this
Why is
soaking
this
wet? And
soft?
then the wood goes,
Yes, not good.
not good. So, anyways,
Yes, not good.
so that's my exciting
Okay.
last week.
Well,
Anyways,
I'll
sorry.
save a little bit of my last week for my something fun. So
All right.
we'll hit that up at the
Cool.
end here.
All right.
It's been a short-ish week, but well, hit me up. What'd you bring for topics?
Oh, back to the U.S. healthcare system and
Oh,
ransomware. So there's a private healthcare system. They had to notify about 5.6 million different patients and employees that their personal and health data was stolen in a May, so 7 months ago, cyber attack that was linked to the Black Basta ransomware operation. So they operate 140 hospitals, 40 senior care facilities, and now they have to send out 5,599,699 messages, mailings to everyone who was there. And then they're going to offer you the 24 free months of identity protection services, which there's a business to get into right there,
right,
is
right.
be a provider of identity theft
I,
protection.
I
So,
yeah.
anyways, the stuff that was stolen, medical information, your medical record numbers, dates of services, types of lab tests, procedure codes, payment information, including credit card information or bank account numbers, insurance information, policy numbers, insurance claims, government identification information such as social security
Uh,
numbers, tax ID numbers, driver's license numbers, or passport numbers, and other personal information such as birth dates. So, pretty much everything was lost.
wow.
So, if you happen to be in this 5.6 million, yeah, skip it out. Uh, look at the look at your options for protecting your identity theft protection services.
Census.
Uh,
Did we talk about them? Not Ascension.
Ascension, yeah,
I feel
and they
like
said it
feel like
was.
we talked about them not too long ago. Oh, May of 2024.
Oh,
Yeah.
so when this first happened?
Yeah. Yeah. We talked
Hmm,
about it a few months ago. 6 months ago.
interesting.
But
Well,
they're finally getting around to the notification and the
notification and
the
all that good stuff.
scope
Yeah.
of what actually happened.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that
So
was
apparently,
episode 336.
okay. Apparently, it was caused by an employee downloading a malicious file onto a company device.
Oh,
So, oops. But, they say it was likely an honest mistake. The employee thought they were downloading a legitimate file. That's
of
what
course they did. Yes.
phishing is. And there you go. So, there you go. Fun for your Christmas break. Uh, Stolen information from Ascension.
Defense in shallow. Okay. Yes. Yes. I'm trying to remember. Like they were South Midwest. I don't remember where most of their
Yeah, I don't
hospitals
remember
are,
either.
but yeah, it was a 6 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Okay. Well. The article. I honestly, I have not read hardly anything this week,
Mm-hmm.
but I did see from Zach's newsletter that Meta won a preliminary or a summary judgment against the NSO group
I saw
for
that.
their spyware, and
Mm-hmm.
that they are going to go to trial only to determine damages. That's exciting. So
Mm-hmm.
this case has been making its way through the courts for 5 years, since 2019. So slow. And it will effectively, hopefully, put a damper on um, spyware companies hacking into U.S. companies' infrastructure and services, which is
Yep.
essentially what was done here. Because Facebook, or Meta, basically sued NSO. Um, it said using a federal anti-hacking law, but I assume it's the DMCA, um, the Digital Millennium Copyright
Yeah, yeah.
Act. Um, so it says this landmark case began in 2019 when WhatsApp filed suit accusing NSO Group of breaking a federal anti-hacking law, alleging the company's flagship custom malware Pegasus was used on human rights advocates and journalists in a sweeping attack in the spring of that year. So it's going to go to
Nice.
trial on the question of what damages NSO Group owes Meta-owned WhatsApp. Judge Phyllis Hamilton of the Northern District of California wrote in her ruling on Friday granting WhatsApp's motion for partial summary judgment. And it also said it was a 2019 hacking spree that breached over 1,000 WhatsApp users. So, fingers crossed that this will be helpful in the kind of slowing of the, let's say, semi-legitimate hacking or spyware companies that are currently being used. So it's pretty awesome. Now, the NSO, remember, was already put on the do not buy, or the, I forget what the name of the list is from the FTC
Right.
earlier in the year, so that the government, it's not allowed to be sold in the US. But um,
Right.
anyway, Friday's ruling in favor of WhatsApp sets a precedent that will be cited for years to come, said John Scott Rayton, a researcher at the University of Toronto's Citizen Lab, who has investigated the use of NSO Group's spyware. So I was very happy to
Nice.
see that. My fingers are crossed. And um, when was the last time I was rooting for Meta? I don't know, but there you go. There you go. Go Meta.
Okay.
Uh,
Let's see what happens.
so there you go. That was my topic.
All
So
right. All right.
tell me something fun.
My something fun is super cool. So on Christmas Eve, the day you landed,
Okay.
a NASA spacecraft blew by the sun through the sun's atmosphere. All right. So
Okay.
the Parker Solar Probe. I want to say we've
Oh, we
talked about
talked
this
about
one
that
a
one
long
too.
time
Hold
ago.
on. Let me
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Solar probe.
I, I I'm just doing follow up this today, I guess. Is not really topics and something fun, just follow up
Maybe
topic and follow up fun.
maybe
Um
20 or episode 288. We talked about the solar probe.
all right.
Discovers
So
more about the source of solar wind.
this uh Parker Solar Probe has a very clearly robust heat shield and made the closest ever approach to the sun, coming 3.8 million miles from the surface. That's 7 times closer than any other probe. So the goal of the mission was to fly into the sun's corona, or its outer
Okay.
atmosphere, that spawns many of the powerful solar storms and weather that impact the Earth.
Okay.
So the super cool thing about this is the speed at which. So it made this historic flyby on Christmas Eve. It'll be in position to send its beacon tone on December 27th to confirm its safety. But to make the record breaking pass, the nearly 10-foot long probe has made 22 orbits around the sun, allowing it to swoop even deeper into the corona. And while doing so, the spacecraft has been continually picking up speed. And when you repeatedly swing by such a massive and gravitationally powerful object, the sun is a sphere of hot gas 333,000 times as massive as our planet. You accrue lots of speed. Out in space, there's nothing to stop the motion. So on this flyby, the probe reached 430,000 miles per hour.
Holy
692,000 kilometers per
moly.
hour. That's pretty fast.
Holy moly.
So, anyways, I just
How
thought that
is
was
it
super
not
cool.
like just completely burning up once it encounters any sort of anything in the outer solar
Yeah.
what do you call it? Atmosphere? Corona? I like
Yeah. It is the fastest human-made object ever. It's like it says going from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. in 1 second. That's how fast it's going.
So hold on, fastest human-made object ever. Haven't some of the Voyager probes been accelerating for like 50 years? But not this fast, evidently.
Guess not this fast. So, anyways.
That's really cool.
I just thought it was super cool.
Okay, that's really
nice
cool.
Little article. There's a video. There's some, NASA.gov videos you can watch. Fun stuff. So
very cool.
Something fun.
Okay, that is spectacular. Okay, so I was on a cruise to Mexico, kind of.
Yes.
Honduras, Belize, Mexico.
Okay.
So third stop. So I think I talked to you right after, like the first day. So last week when I had been sick as a dog. It was the first day that I was semi-lucid and I still felt like crap. Mm-hmm. Whatever. So I don't know that I won't say never, but like the cruise was not on my, Anyway, but I optimized my excursions for Mayan ruins. And the third excursion was to Costa Maya's Chacchoben Ruins. So this is the link I'll put in here. And it was super cool. And of course, like I dig this stuff anyway. Well, digging's not allowed, but I like this stuff. And so the coolest part of the day. So we get in a bus. They bus us for, I think it was about an hour drive, and it was very touristy. Like, right. I mean, you're on a cruise ship, and there were other cruise ships in port. Like, I don't know, there's thousands of people all hopping on big buses and going, and like, whatever. Okay, this is not a authentic experience, but that's fine. It's fine.
A very curated experience.
100,000%. It's fine. But it was still okay. It was still okay. And especially like they did the tour. The tour guide was awesome. I mean, they were kind of wending their way around other tours because they basically had, 20 tours going on at the same time with 50 people apiece. But it's fine because the guides were really knowledgeable and they kind of took you to a little spot and then, told you their stuff and gave you a few minutes to walk around and then went on to the next thing. And then towards the end of this was the part that was the coolest. They're like, okay, we're done with the main part of the tour. If you are able and you want, you should climb those steps over there. And up on top, there's 3 temples it was like several football fields worth of, an elevated platform. Okay. And you couldn't see anything from down below other than that there's a whole bunch of steps that you go up. And so I was with my brother and my parents. And so my brother and I, we go up the steps and then you kind of crest the steps and there's this gigantic, the biggest I don't know if it was totally the biggest, but seemingly the biggest temple of them all, like right in front of you. So it was like, you kind of come
Mm-hmm.
up over the top, and it was like this huge reveal. It was just super cool. And you could get pretty close to it. I mean, they literally had guards up there who were putting in a
Right.
fence to keep people away, like literally
Right.
while we were there. But
Mm.
but anyway, it was super cool. And the picture of what we'll probably put in the chapter art, and the first picture on the link that's here is what you'll see. I mean, it looks like a Mayan ruin. And I don't know, a couple of cool facts about these things. So first of all, they weren't you would not have seen all the rock because they would have been plastered. And there were some places in some of the ruins we saw that still had some of the original plaster, with like faces and stuff in it, which was really cool. But second thing is they're solid, and so they would grow over time. And actually, as they raided other, evidently the Mayan were more like city states than they were having a central government or anything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
if the city states fought, one of the things they would do is they would basically pillage or give tribute in the form of rock, like take off the outer shell of the temple from the other village and then like put it on make their own temple bigger, that kind of thing.
Ah,
And so
okay.
there were a couple of places in here where there was like clearly an inner temple or an inner wall and an outer one. And I think they could tell where they had come from based on what the types of rock there were and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Okay.
that was super cool. So the Chacchoben Ruins is my first something fun. That was super cool. We did have the fourth excursion was also really cool. We got to swim in a cenote, and which
Oh.
was was really cool as well. But my second something fun, because when we got off the cruise ship docked overnight, and then we could get off at like 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
It's the first time I'd ever done this. I wasn't quite sure how long it would be, blah blah blah. So I didn't. My flight wasn't until like 7 p.m. and I think my parents were flying out at like 5 p.m. Anyway, we had most of the day. So I had rented a minivan for six of us, thinking that would be fine. Reader, that was not quite fine. Minivans did not have enough luggage space for six people, each of whom had basically
Mm.
two large pieces
You're
of
right.
luggage. Anyway, net, we got in the minivan and we went to the Kennedy Space Center. So Kennedy Space Center is my
Kennedy Space
is my
Center is
second thing,
cool.
and because it's the second time I've been there, I very much very much enjoyed it. It was the first time my parents had gotten to be there. My dad had always wanted to go, and
Mm-hmm.
so we didn't have like the full day, but we were able to see the two biggest exhibits that
Right.
I'm aware of. Go out to the Atlas 5
Right. Yep.
building,
Yep.
which is just, I mean, we walk in there and you're just like, I can't even believe that this thing actually flew.
The
It's
Saturn V.
Yeah, the Saturn 5.
Yeah.
Did I say Atlas 5?
Yeah.
Sorry. Saturn 5. And and then of course the Atlantis space shuttle,
Right.
and the video introducing and then revealing the space shuttle it was still as impactful as it was. I think we were there about a decade. It's been about 10 years since I've been there. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
ironically, I'm wearing my Kennedy Space Center, my old Kennedy Space Center t-shirt today, and which is faded enough that you could barely even tell what it's from. But anyway, Kennedy Space Center, super awesome.
Also very
If you
cool.
have a chance to go, something very fun. That was awesome. I was really glad we had a chance to do that again. So anyway, that's my something
Nice.
fun.
Very cool.
All right,
Well, glad you're back
I'm happy to be back.
safely. And sounds like the family had a nice Christmas holiday. So,
Yep. All right, enjoy your time off. I'll talk to you probably in
yeah,
2025.
that is going to be a true statement, regardless of what happens between now and then.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
All
All
right.
right, I'll talk to
Have
you
a good
later,
one,
Eric.
John.
Bye.
Bye.